Beverly's going to tell how she got her 4-year temporary visa and how you can become a teacher in Mexico.
Well, hi, guys and dolls. And this is Cindy from Life in Huatulco. And we have a wonderful guest today. And she's been a friend of ours 2 or 3 years, I think. And I think she was one of our first viewers. And she had a YouTube then, but not in Mexico. And she does have a YouTube now in Mexico for quite some time. And the name of that is Miles and Coffee. And she loves coffee. And I would like to introduce you to Beverly. Hi, Beverly.
Hi, Cindy. It's so good to be here again with you.
Yes, we've interviewed before, and she was in Chiapas. So for people who are interested in a cooler climate, less expensive, it's really economical with a lot of culture, you would want to ask her about that. But now she's in La Paz. Is that right?
La Paz.
And you can see a bit of it behind her now. And I would like to ask her about her visa because some people are interested. That's a big deal right now. Am I going to get a visa? I'm not going to get a visa. And if you stay tuned to all of this interview, you're going to hear about, could I work teaching in Mexico? Could I not work teaching in Mexico? So you want to watch the whole video. Okay. So what type of residency visa do you have, Beverly?
Okay, thank you so much. That's a good question because we all know that right now things are changing in Mexico rapidly by the day. So I have a temporary residence. It is good for 4 years. I was so thankful because, as you know, in Chiapas, I had a residency card, but getting it renewed was a struggle. I'll just put it like that. Yes.
And so it's for 4 years. And did you get your temporary visa on the basis of your savings account or your monthly income? Because you're not retired yet, right?
I am not retired yet. It was not based. I did fill out a questionnaire and, based on my income and all of that. But it was a little bit different. It was not based on my income, really. It was not based on working. It was based on the fact that my first residence card expired and there was a new program. Now I filled out my income, but that was not the major factor.
Oh, they were just renewing.
They were renewing, and I qualified for a brand new program called the regularization program. Okay. It's based on your residence visa that expired. And for people who have been here right before the pandemic and want to stay here, Mexico is actively trying to help you if you want to continue here. So the first thing they asked me, have you been here since 2019? And they could see in the computer, yes, I have. Okay. And then the question, the lady that helped me saying, are you working or not? And when she found out I'm online, she said, we're not going to go with a working visa because everything you're doing is online, right? So you asked me, did I use an immigration advisor? Yes, I did, because that helped me a lot. I needed help with the process. They were very knowledgeable. And so they do a lot of questions and answering first to see what best fits you. And that is when she said, okay, we're not going to worry about your working because I'm considered a digital nomad. I can work literally anywhere. Okay. So they said, oh, you're not really working in Mexico. I have some students in the United States, I have some students in Chile. So they said, oh, that we're not worrying about that.
You're a nomad because your income probably doesn't go to a Mexican bank.
And it does not.
That's the whole deal. That's right. That's good. Now, your advisor, did you use the same advisor you had used before, or did you find a new one?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. I had my very first card was a work permit. through my employer, the very first one. And then I had another employer and they didn't know the process. So we won't get into that. So I used a new one because I found out when the laws changed, there was a new program called regularization. So I contacted a very good relocation service. And that is when they started walking me through the process. And they were very knowledgeable. And I also discovered, Cindy, that the regularization program is not available in every state in Mexico. So where I was in Chiapas, this program is not available. One of the employers that I have in Guadalajara, the program is not available. So the relocation people know where the program is. And even this year, when I received my card in January, they don't know how long the program will continue.
That's what's happened with a lot of people. They procrastinated I'll get my visa later. I can get the 180 day. And now they're not going to be able to qualify because the requirements keep going up. This is not something to wait on. Just because you're not ready to move, but you know you're going to move, get it done now. Get it done while you can. Yes, you must do that. So lots of teachers also want to move and be nomads. Mm-hmm. And so we've just realized that if you want to come here, because the rent's affordable and you're going to be in the tropics or wherever you want to be in Guadalajara,
yes, and
work online, you do need to know first that you're going to have good internet. That's a biggie.
Yes.
And but another thing is that if you're working online here, you're not going to get a work permit. She just told you, you're not working in Mexico. You're not receiving salary in Mexico. You're not working a 40-hour job in Mexico and receiving money in the banks of Mexico and paying taxes in Mexico at the hacienda. So that's just nomad job. You got to get your visa another way. But if you do want to work for schools, what kind of service do you have to teach them how they could take a course and qualify and maybe look for a job and get help getting their visa as a teacher here? She's got a resource for you.
Yes, that is such a good question. Thanks for explaining that, because people need to realize, don't wait, do it now. And you know that there is a difference between the work permit and the temporary residence, you know, which is what I have. But it happened organically. You know, you and I talked about the God thing happening before. You know, some people do lives where they discuss, and, you know, I'm not comfortable with that. So when people kept asking me questions, how, I didn't want to do it publicly. So then I had to find out, okay, well, how can I help these people one-on-one? And there is a platform that I created. Actually, you were the motivator for that. You gave me this information about, you know, starting your own business and, you know, doing it very, very slow. And I did that. And then that's when I discovered, well, you know, people have questions. So I will create a way for them to contact me on coffee chats, look at my schedule, and then book me, and then send me their questions. And then we can go from there. And it's usually 30 minutes. Some people book an hour, and I'm able to answer one-on-one their questions about how to get a TEFL, how to get relocated if you get a TEFL and get a job, you know, and then kind of hold their hand as a coach. We already talked about you need support. That's what I provide, support. And a lot of them are already teachers, Sydney. They're looking to do things a different way, you know. But as far as relocating, I always try to encourage people, if you're still in the States, start that process at the consulate before you leave. Start, because things are changing, you know, and make it easy on yourself. Start the process before you move.
Learn what your list is going to be for paperwork. So you don't really get into their list of paperwork. You get in, you advise them to get talk to an immigration lawyer.
Exactly.
About
Exactly. I point them to the professionals, and that is why I'm recommending to everybody. The first time I didn't have a specialist. I'm telling people now, because things change so quickly, that's your first priority. Get a specialist, get a lawyer, and it saves time, it saves headache, it saves stress, and that's what people do. They follow my advice. Get a specialist. I don't know the laws in Mexico, and then my situation is a little bit different from someone else's. But if they do that first and then get the TEFL, don't wait. Like you said, time is of the essence because things change quickly.
Right. And I'm so glad that you've done this. And are you happier on the coast?
I absolutely love it. I can't explain. There's something about that water. You already know because you know water as well. But it's the Pacific coast specifically. Yes, it does get warm. I do have air conditioning, but right now this is off season. So when I'm between, when I have like a little break in my schedule, I just like to go out to the cafe or walk to the beach, put my toes in the sand and just look at the water. That's a routine for me, just to walk on the Malecon and look at this beautiful Sea of Cortez behind me. That's a daily routine for me.
That's medicinal.
Yeah, but the sea is medicinal. It's something about that water. Even if I do nothing but sit and absorb all of that fresh air, it really has an effect on you. So it has been a good change. I have a comfortable apartment and really good fiber optic internet, which is important for working. Yes, and that's included. I don't pay for that. I don't pay for internet or cable. It's included.
You're in heaven, girl.
Yeah. And I'm thankful. I was able to find my apartment through Facebook groups. So, that's how I found it, by researching the group for this area. And it just so happened that there was an opening with the landlady that I have here. And she did say, "You're lucky." I knew it was a God thing. I knew what she meant, but that doesn't happen, that you come straight to your apartment coming in instead of going to an Airbnb or hotel. I was able to leave Choppers and come directly to my new apartment. It was a blessing.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much. I do know that we've known each other through your channel. I was keeping up with your channel too. I really was. Yeah, you and your RV, because we had literally thought we were going to live in a car. That's how bad it was. We could not afford to continue to live in the United States. No. And we each had 3 RVs in our life, but times change. Things happen. Life happens. I do want to tell people one thing. Just because you want to live in one city, the Republic of Mexico is very big. You can come, for example, to Oaxaca and be there and get your paperwork done. And then you might decide you want to move somewhere else. You just put in a change of address form and it doesn't cost a thing. And you do that at the INM, which is Instituto Nacional Mexicano. And that is your immigration office. So if you have an affordable lawyer that can help you and you want to take care of it in one place and then move to another place, it's okay. Yes. Some areas may have more expensive lawyers than others. And boy, that's true. And so you can get a lawyer in one place, get it taken care of there and move somewhere else. You're not stuck with where you did your immigration work. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate
you. Bye-bye, Cindy.
Do you like learning about Oaxaca City, but really love the Bajías de Huatulco, the 9 bays and beaches? Then we are your channel. Do you dream of traveling, vacationing, wintering, or even making a life in Huatulco? Then please subscribe, hit the alert bell, and hit like. When you help our channel, Life in Huatulco, you're helping the business owners, local families, visitors, and the people moving here to know more about community services, service providers, tourism, rentals and properties, local events and fundraisers. So we are your channel to learn about life in Huatulco.